He's John Arnold, former salesman for both Textron and for Cirrus Aircraft in the upper Midwest.
He's Spencer Bain, formerly Bombardier, Flexjet, and Embraer. And we used to be fierce competitors, but now we work hand in hand helping Lone Mountain customers move up to their first jet.
As pilots ourselves and with an intimate knowledge of nearly every entry cabin category aircraft, we're going to give you a taste of what we share with our clients who have these two aircraft on their list, the Phenom 100
and the Citation M2.
Wait a minute, isn't that a CJ1?
No, it's got the winglets, that's what sets it apart.
Okay.
The M2 has a fantastic view from the crew seats. Large side windows, large front windows provide fantastic visibility. We use bleed air from the engines to heat our windshield. A couple advantages. One, it's an on-demand system and creates a much lower cost windshield when it comes time for replacement. The disadvantages are it can be a little loud in the cockpit when engaged, as well as it does require the crew to be diligent on the heat. As a secondary to the bleed air, the pilot does have the ability to have an alcohol system to de-ice the pilot side only. Hey, let's take a look at the nose baggage of the M2. So this compartment is very spacious. It holds up to 400 pounds, and it's one of two external baggage compartments that we have, which actually aids the pilots in the balance of the aircraft. It's very convenient. The space up here is unheated and unpressurized. So we use this for bags or golf clubs, which we'll kind of show you here in a minute. But let's go around to the other side. I'll show you the other door. Here on this side, you see we have pass-through access, which allows longer items or just bulkier items to kind of come up here in the nose. But underneath here, we do have some avionics for our techs to take a look at, so it's kind of a double use here. As well as for the pilots, they have some pre-flight items up here that they'll take care of.
Let's begin first with the windscreen, 100% electric, no blowing air here. Coming up to the nose of the aircraft, we have this, an ice detect, also unique in category. The nose baggage isn't really intended for anything more than a briefcase or two. It has a heavy weight carrying capacity of 66 pounds, but as you can see, it's only about 7 cubic feet. Good for a small valise or perhaps a small duffel bag. Nose cone houses either a GWX 68 or 70 weather radar. Here you have the aircraft's hydraulic system. The hydraulic system being used to actuate both the spoilers and also the landing gear system. You might have counted 1, 2, 3 pitot-static systems, this tertiary one being dedicated to the IESI standby instruments. Dual AOA vanes provide for redundancy. They're also externally accessed for ease of replacement.
The landing gear on the Citation is very robust. It's a trailing link system which provides a much smoother landing. It does have anti-skid brakes. That combined with the large flaps, low approach speeds, and ground flap system that we have that we'll talk about creates really short landing distances. One of the things that sets the M2 apart is the wing. This thing is just beautiful. It doesn't have any helpers, doesn't have VGs, doesn't have fences. It's beautifully tapered. It's got laminar flow. I just love it. We use bleed air from the engines to heat the wing for our anti-ice capability. On the fueling system, it's very simple. Left wing, left engine, right wing, right engine. It does hold 492 gallons. That pretty much gives me routinely 1,000 nautical mile trips I do in the airplane with plenty of reserve, depending on winds, of course, and what I have in the cabin. Coming around the distinctive winglet of the M2, let's talk control surfaces. The primary control surfaces on the M2 are conventional. They're cable and pulley system. There's a trim tab on the aileron that helps alleviate pressure from the crew. Stepping back towards the end of the wing, you'll notice we have very large flaps. We do take off with flaps conventionally. It does also have a ground flap mode, which gives us 60 degrees when we land, which are pilot controlled. That dramatically reduces our ground roll. This is the top half of our speed brakes. We do have a bottom half to it. It serves two functions. One, we can deploy them in flight to control our airspeed, as well as they do deploy with the ground flap system. Once again, dumping lift and allowing the airplane to stop in a shorter distance.
A nice feature of the Phenom 100 is this trailing link landing gear. It'll make a good pilot look great and a mediocre pilot look pretty good. These are big, they're gigantic, dual brakes with 2 hydraulic lines running to them. Let's talk about wing design. This is a traditional, straight, but tapered wing. Rather than the competitor's heated edge, this aircraft has tried and true boots that you'll also find on the empennage. You'll notice also that this airplane features wing fences. That helps maintain aerodynamic stall in certain portions of the wing. Relative to fuel, this aircraft can hold about 415 gallons to achieve its 1,178 nautical mile maximum range. And you can fill about 60% of the entire aircraft from just one fuel filler port. A nice opportunity for refinement on this wing, you'll notice that the static wicks are flush mounted rather than just bolted on. Also, the design of the wing. This is a chemically milled wing, meaning that Embraer starts with a bigger, thicker, more expensive piece of aluminum and then etches out chemically where it doesn't need added support. You'll notice also that our flap tracks, they're made out of titanium versus aluminum. Why is that important? Well, titanium, if you get a piece of dirt in between 2 titanium flap tracks, it will grind that dirt down to nothing, versus aluminum, the traditional construction, where if you get debris in there, could score the aluminum. A feature of the Phenom 100E, EV, and now the new EX is this newer spoiler system. Spoilers obviously create additional lift dump upon landing and also helps to slow on approach speed.
The engines on the M2 are from Williams. They're the FJ44-1AP. They produce 1,965 pounds of thrust each. That is a better power to weight ratio than my buddy over there. Williams is known for their fuel efficiency, power output, and workability. They are digitally controlled via a FADEC system. One other advantage of the Williams motors is the easy pre-flighting. And if you're tall enough, you can see everything.
Now let's talk thrust. This Pratt 617 engine is the 617-1F-E, an improvement over the original Phenom 100s and the Phenom 100Es. These engines are putting out 1,730 pounds per side. The enhancement on a hot and high day, say out of Toluca, will reduce your needed runway by roughly 1,000 feet.
The aft baggage of the M2 is right here. Some advantages are it's a large and low door, so we can fit large bulky items into the airplane. A couple of pre-flight items we have in here. There is a fire extinguisher for the engines. We do have some circuit breakers, and we do have our battery disconnect. 325 pounds in the tail of the aircraft, and it does have an optional ski tube, so we can put longer items in. We actually have straps too, we can strap things up to the ceiling and get them out of the way.
So that's the way, no, but I don't think now, I'm on the phone. A real nice benefit of the Phenom 100 is this voluminous aft baggage space. It's 53 cubic feet and 352 cubic pounds. You'll likely run out of weight before you run out of baggage volume.
If it was a good day at the shop, the right side of the airplane is going to look a lot like the left side. However, we do have the hydraulic reservoir here on this side that we'll take a look at. This is where we keep the reservoir for the hydraulic system. This independent hydraulic system powers 3 items: the landing gear, the flaps, and the speed brakes on the airplane. Now let's go check out the inside of the airplane.